Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So for both of you, what is your guys' favorite movie of all time?
I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's
Let me go first, man.
oh man. You know, classic wise, it'll probably shock you, but growing up, it was definitely the Nightmare Before Christmas, and I don't want to sound too
Okay.
hot topic right now, but I just enjoyed the entire story of it, and I like Tim Burton's work. It's one of those movies that you feel like they opened the door for many sequels that it could have been, but they kept it
Mhm.
closed because they didn't want to destroy the original. Which I
Yeah.
mean, I appreciate that. In the same case, there was a lot of routes they could go, and they left it like open ended. But it's just an OG, yeah. And I know it movies aren't made like that anymore, and that's a big thing with the stop motion. Everything's CGI, so it's a lot easier for them. So back in that
Mhm.
day, if you bumped the table and something got moved, that was like an additional 260 days you needed to work on that film. So I honor that like hard work and dedication that they did
Mhm.
with that. So I'll say Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right on.
Awesome. What about for you,
Like,
Richie?
man, I got so many. I don't know if I could pick one, but I guess if I just had to like,
You
I
could
don't know.
name them all if you want. Name some of your favorites.
Oh man, I like Jacob's Ladder, RoboCop, The Crow. I like the first X-Men movie. Uh, Man, you got me on the spot here. There's way too many. I love the original Tron. Um, Escape from New York. What else is there? Man, yeah. I just on the same sense of what Flex was saying about remakes and stuff like that. RoboCop is like one of my top favorites, and of course, the
Mhm.
original is the best. And they try to do exactly that: is remake it, and they even made sequels, and they just butchered it. So he's right about that. Nothing beats originals.
Oh, absolutely. Totally agree with you guys.
I give a high
With,
five to Tron too. I'm a Tron fan. So
Ooh,
oh,
yeah.
nice. Awesome. And then with the next question, do you guys have like a favorite music artist or a band you guys like to listen to?
Richie, you go first on this one.
Me, I get that. Actually, this is like people ask me this all the time, and it's one of those things where it's like I like all sorts of genre of music. Though I admit I'm not up to date with the modern stuff. I'm kind of stuck right now, I guess. I don't know, maybe
Mhm.
that's age hit me or something, but um, anything from the '90s, anything from the '80s. I'm a big '80s. I love '80s rock, '80s alternative, '80s even hip hop, and '90s. Everything going into the '90s as well. Like, you know what? I even like the boy bands back in the day. Like,
Mhm.
they hated it during that time, of course, but then now I'm back. I'm like, hey, this stuff is
Yeah,
deep. I could
now you can get away with
like,
it. That's it.
yeah, I'm like this. This is cool. Your turn, Flex.
Awesome. Awesome. What about you,
Okay,
Flex?
so I'll be more sticking to one or two bands. I would say, I mean, I'm kind of like Richie. I like a variety of stuff, and then the modern day stuff. I listen to a lot of like Parav Stellar, so it's like the big band
Mm.
type trans music. But if we had to go back to the '90s, I would say Nine Inch Nails and the Smashing Pumpkins were probably
Oh
my
man.
biggest.
Ooh, nice.
This isn't to try to get a job at NWA either, but Billy Corgan's work. I was always a huge fan of the Smashing Pumpkins. Almost every single song they released, I
Yeah, me too.
always could dig. Even like the filler songs on the old CDs were good. Were good music. So I would say definitely Nine Inch Nails. I don't think they ever put out a bad song. And then the same with the Smashing Pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And with those two bands you just named right now, Flex, what's your favorite song from both of them?
From Nine Inch Nails, I'd probably say We're in This Together is probably my top favorite. And then when they put that with the original Avengers trailer, that was pretty dope because
Mm.
it fit the mood
Mhm.
for that when the Avengers was coming out. And then with Smashing Pumpkins, man, they have a bunch of them, but I like when they came back about like 2000, I think 8 or 7, and they released Tarantula. Tarantula was a good one. I think they used it for like a WWE pay per view back in the day. It just is a good, like fast paced, Smash and Pumpkins. Some of them are, like drawn out or more like love related, but still, alternative
What kind
rock.
of classic one? I think a famous one back in the day. It's like 19. It's called 19 something. I think. I feel dumb.
Yeah. Or
My
Bullet
memory.
with a Butterfly too. That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 19. I think it's 65 or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's something like that.
Mhm.
That was-
Yeah.
Awesome. And then with the next question, what is your guys' favorite TV show?
Flex, you go ahead.
I was a huge fan of The Walking Dead until it kind of spun around. I followed that one through and through up till this past season. I kind of fell off. They started killing off all the main characters. I think it was very well done. But favorite of all time would have to be man. It's hard to put on it. Like I seen every Seinfeld and I feel like every Friends episode. They were good shows, but man, pretty rough picking one particular. I guess I just stick to The Walking Dead for more modern day type.
Okay.
Yeah, just let's say The Walking Dead up until season, what was that, 9, I think it was, and then it kind of just spun off. But I was able to hold on to it through season 9. I mean, there was a time, so I'll tell you a quick story on why it's Walking Dead. So that really big season that they had where they left everybody in awe with Negan when they introduced Negan, and they had everybody get on their knees. This is no spoilers anymore because this was like 6 years ago. So when everybody got on their knees and they left it where someone was going to get their head bashed in by Lucille, they left it as the cliffhanger. And what they did was they recorded a death scene for every character that was on their knees at that time, just in case it leaked. Well, days before the season kicked off, I bumped into Michael Cudlitz out on Ventura Boulevard over in Sherman Oaks, and he played Abraham, the orange-haired one. And he literally, I felt like he was going to be the one that died, and I bumped into him like 3 days before the season premiere kicked off.
Oh, wow.
He was just sitting at a bar outside. I took a picture with him. I still have the picture, and I said to him, "Hey, man, hopefully it's not you that dies." And he just looked at me, winked, and said, "I hope not either." And I knew at that moment, even though he signed a non-disclosure, I knew he was the one that was going to get killed. And we were taping Hollywood during that time. So that Sunday, I rode with Scorpio Sky and Eric Watts. And I rode with them to the show. So I'm like 2 hours away from my home in OC. And I'm telling them guys, hey, we can't get food today. We got to go straight back to your place. I got to get driving back home. I can't get this spoiled. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Just calm down, bro. And I'm like, all right. So we get to the tapings, and right away, Sky's like, hey, let's get food afterwards. And I'm like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. I rode with you guys. I said, I need to get to my car. And he's like, it's just a quick bite. So we go and we go out with the other guys, man, and we're getting food. And like, I'm sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, not opening my phone. I can't see one spoiler. And I'm like, Sky, can we get going? Sky, can we go? And Sky's like, dude, you're pissing me off, bro. He's like, and I'm like, I know, man, but I thought we agreed. So I finally get back, and then I get in my car. I get back to his house. I get in my car. I drive back. And then the opening scene is literally Abraham getting his head smashed in. And I was like, damn it, bro. I knew it. So that's my story.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good story. While I'm over here having to share my love to my cat.
So for you, Richie, what would be your favorite TV show?
Well, damn, I should have thought about it a little bit more. You know what? Recently, I've actually found a couple of good ones. Of course, classics would have been like X-Files back in the day. I used to love that show. What else was there? I think there's, I don't know if this would count, but like I used to be a huge fanatic of Unsolved Mysteries, like this series. So I used to watch every episode. I still watch replays and repeats of it, just I guess nostalgia. But recently though, I found a lot of good stuff. A lot of good programs that I actually just binged on, finished up recently. Like there's one on HBO. I'm trying to remember what the name of it. Something about wolves. I forgot the title. It's something like Raised by Wolves or something like that. And it's kind of like the sci-fi. Benny, get out of here. She's flipping out. She didn't like that. She didn't like that show apparently. But yeah, Raised by Wolves. I think that's what it was called. There's like one season, but hopefully there's a second one. But it was really good. I don't know. I like weird stuff like that. I'm into. There's like they have on Netflix Daredevil. I think they did a couple of like 2 or 3 seasons. That was really good. The Punisher. They did one season. I think. I don't know. I think it was one season, but that was really good. Yeah, and I did like the Walking Dead as well, but I lost track of everything after the 4th season. I just could not keep up. So yeah, got left behind.
Awesome, guys. Great answers. And with the next question, what would be? Do you guys have any hobbies outside of wrestling that you guys like to do?
Well,
you know what? I'll let Richie think on this one and give him a breather because he just finished. So. I just wanted to cut in. That's all it was. So I would say definitely fitness is a big thing for me. In case you didn't know, it might not be evident.
He just guys. That's it.
Yeah, it's just I just eat candy. You know what I mean? The beef is all gimmick. But yeah, so fitness is a big thing. I've been doing that for 17 years now consecutively. So I started when I was 15, and then I'm 33 now. So. Yeah, consecutively 17 years. I competed like 12 years ago in men's physique. Once you do that, I feel like you're over it and like it's not that much of a thing that you want to do anymore. Good thing wrestling's not that way. So there's that, and then also I'm a huge I like to say closet gamer, but I'm a huge gamer. I love Nintendo. So I grew up my Nintendo was almost like my little brother because like I was born in 87. The NES came out in America in 87. So by the time I was like 4, I had an NES. I was playing the original classics, Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, all the NES games, Legend of Zelda. And then I got an SNES originally when it launched in 91. And then it was kind of like the motto as soon as like a console dropped. I don't want to say I was a spoiled little brat, but I mean, I was lucky enough to get those consoles, the N64 in 96, GameCube launched in 2001, and then I eventually had a little sister, so I didn't need that sibling video game counterpart, but I still stuck with it. So even to today, I have a Nintendo Switch. I've worked with Nintendo a lot throughout the past like 5-6 years. I used to work when trade shows were a thing, E3 and Comic-Con. I would always work with Nintendo doing their events. So I would run a lot of the booths. I ran Luigi's Mansion, the Mansion pop-up for Luigi's Mansion 3 2 years ago in 2019 when that dropped for the Switch back in October of 19. So, yeah, definitely huge Nintendo gamer. And then probably just I'm an OCD clean freak, too. So I like to make sure everything's in its place. Other than that, I don't do much else. But, yeah, so that's a little bit of the inside of me. Richie?
Well, where do I start? I like art, so I like long walks on the beach, and no, I'm a huge I love art, so I want to do like my entire life I've been drawing. I wanted to be an artist initially, and then I wanted to be an actor, and I'm into that. I'm into cinematography. I like making movies, shorts, and stuff like that. I'm a big lover of cats and animals. Of course, as you saw here, this one in particular, her name is Penny. So she's my current obsession at the moment. And, but yeah, aside from that, yeah, I whatever I can do, if I can get away with doing it myself, I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy. Like, for example, the gear that you see behind me, all those I've actually made myself. I'm very impatient. Wow. Yeah. I don't like waiting on other people to make things when I could just pop them out, within a matter of an hour or 30 minutes. I may not be the best at it, but I like to say I'm the jack of all trades. But yeah, yeah. So I like anything creative that I could put my hands on, I can do and fix with my hands. I'd rather do it myself.
Awesome, guys. This is really just stuff, man. It's awesome. And then, like you're saying with art, what got you into art?
I was a comic book fanatic. I was into the X-Men, and I collected the toys, I collected the cards, and watched all the cartoons, of course. And I was like, hey, I want to, I guess going way back, thinking about it, I was actually originally into Batman. And
Mhm.
then I think one of my first drawings was like Batman, and then started evolving from there, of course, into other characters and stuff like that. And favorite characters like X-Men, like Wolverine and Gambit and stuff like that, kind of inspired me. In fact, I have a story. It was like when I was 10, I was in Canada at the time. I lived out there. I basically lived everywhere in the US, but that's during that portion, that little bit of time I was out in Canada. And my mom had told me, if you want to be an artist, like go ahead, like send your art out to Stan Lee. Maybe he might look at it and reply back to you. And which I did. A couple of months later, I ended up actually getting a written letter from Stan Lee,
Oh,
signed by. It even has this little Excelsior at the end of it. And I just wish I had, of course, kept it. It's been so many years. I lost it somewhere in storage.
oh,
But he wrote me back and he said,
oh,
when you become of age, definitely check out our studios and come out and show us, what you have, and you're a talented guy and blah, 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 and all the good stuff that you tell 10-year-olds. So yeah, that was it. Kind of cool.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Just like even getting a letter from him and saying that must have been
Yeah.
like as a 10-year
Yeah.
old man, that must have been like amazing.
That
That's
was it.
awesome.
I was like, I got to do it. But, like now that I'm older, like I have this bucket list of things that I want to do. And that's one of the things that I kind of motivate myself to keep doing is, for example, like I feel like everybody's born with talent and a skill, whether they've discovered it or not. And the trick is to keep utilizing it and not letting it go to waste. So even though I'm not a comic book artist as I wish to have been and all that stuff, I'm still utilizing it some way or another. I utilize it in my gear. I still, I draw up different designs and different things. My own graphics. And occasionally people come at me and tell me, hey, they need a flyer done, and use my artistic ability, creativeness, in that as well. But you'd be surprised; it's in everything. Acting, same thing. It's involved in wrestling, and just in wrestling in general. That's another thing that I grew up watching and being obsessed with, and it was like a motivation to myself to get in here and say, hey, I could do it. I can put my, whatever I put my mind to, I can do it. So I don't know. This could be a message to anyone out there. If you think about it and you think you're not the biggest guy in the ring, look at Beef Candy.
And also, Flex, I want to ask you too, you were saying you did muscle competitions. What made you want to get into that? And also, both of you guys are in great shape. What is you guys' secret? What's you guys' workout routine like?
So what got me into working out was along the lines of what Richie was saying. I was a lifelong wrestling fan. Probably started watching it at the age of like 8, 9. It was during the era of like Austin Rock, like as it was prematurely starting the corporation. The number 1 and 2 top wrestlers that really pushed me to want to do it, which I'm glad they had such historic careers, were Edge and Christian. I was a huge fan of the Brood when it first started. It was mostly Christian. I could see something in him that just literally made me hungry to want to do the sport. And that's when they were using him very little. He was seldomly used. He was, I think, at best, light heavyweight champion, which was cool, but they weren't even letting him talk. He just wasn't, developing at the time. But you could see that the guy had such potential. And watching that era, the Attitude Era, I think, it's one of those things where, man, if you got the chance to watch something as brilliant as the Attitude Era, you want to be a part of something like that if you had that entertainment heart in you. So definitely, when I decided at the age of probably 12, 13 that I was going to do pro wrestling, I was literally the smallest kid in my school. I was just the scrawny little, pipsqueak guy. And I was like, man, like I'm looking at guys like Undertaker, Kane at that time. And I'm like, I don't know how I would hang with those if I ever had the chance to tangle with them. That's why I started working out at 15 at home. I bought some really small weights, 5-pound, 10-pound dumbbells, struggled with those, got stuck under some bars on the flat bench. It was embarrassing enough. But then I joined a gym. It was called Extreme Gym in Philadelphia. And man, like that gym motivated me. I worked out with NFL players from the Eagles. I worked out with Arena Football League players from the Philadelphia Soul, and these guys were huge, and like they could see it in me at the age of like 17 through 20 that I was so hungry for this, and they were like, dude, you're gonna get huge one day. They're like, if you stick with this, you will literally get everything you want out of your body. And then like looking at the guys at the time, the inspirational figures were Eddie Guerrero and the other guy who shall not be named.
I know.
CB. And so those bodies at that time were something that I could relate to because of the height. Were about the same, but the thickness is what I needed to grow into. So those two in particular, I looked up to because they had broken barriers from their time in WCW through the run with the WWE. So I definitely use that as a marker for me to try to hit. And I feel like I've gotten pretty close. If those guys were around today, I feel like I've gotten pretty close to their like limits of what they were. And I'm more than thankful for the opportunities I've been given in the wrestling, and with the way I've been able to build my body and showcase it with the wrestling. So it all worked out, man. Honestly, it was a long journey, and it's still like I just got done working out before this podcast right now, but it's an everyday thing. You grow into it and you learn to love it. It's a job you don't get paid for. Kind of like wrestling. No, but it's a job you don't get paid for at all. So you just gotta love it, and that's what it is. So that's what keeps me going.
Awesome, and it shows because you guys are in great shape.
Thank you.
Oh, the reason why you guys call you beef candy for a reason.
That's it.
Well, I didn't always look like this, No, I you know what? I'm like a late bloomer on everything. So when it came to like bodybuilding or even working out, I'm still a work in progress. I think everybody is at a certain point, but like I'm kind of like a beginner to the whole thing. So my entire life have just been a couch potato. So it's like I like lounging about and doing absolutely nothing but drawing and being creative in those ways. I've never liked the idea of spending time in the gym, but it's something that you have to grind for if you want to look a particular way and you want to go you want to be successful, especially in wrestling. I think this is a new day and age where a lot of guys, whether they're fit or not, they're still able to do it, whether it's charisma or other things to kind of like I guess make up for the lack of muscle, which again, me, Flex is a freaking beast. Me on the other hand, compared to him, I look at but again, though, it's a work in progress. So every day you go in the gym, you have a goal in mind. Like he said, like he looked up to people like Eddie Guerrero, and yeah, that guy. I know that was one of the motivations. Seeing the guy in the ring, just how big, even though he's a small guy, he looks so jacked and so serious. I'm like, man, that's the level I got to get. And of course, some of us have good genetics. We could go to the gym after a while, the muscles start to show, and then some of us are slower than others. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'd say I'm at my happiest point right now, especially ever since working with Flex, having that motivation on the side, learning a lot too. I got to say, like I'm better than ever. If there was ever a time in my wrestling career that I said I truly enjoy what I'm doing, this is it now. And I like Flex even said, like, I am truly grateful for every opportunity I'm getting, and I'm living the dream right now, no matter how small or big it might be. It's a day-to-day thing,
Oh, absolutely, guys. And it just shows hard work, gets you to what you guys are doing now. So it's amazing, And I want to continue with these fun questions real quick. With the next question, what are you guys' favorite foods? Do you guys have a favorite type of food or favorite meal or anything?
I could answer that real quick. So I'm half Persian. My dad's from Iran, and my mom is a Southern girl. So I guess you could say the perfect mix because I love Southern food, but at the same time, also my favorite would be Persian food. Like there's a dish called ghormeh sabzi. It's really good. It looks like diarrhea on the plate, but it's delicious, man. I don't know. If you've never had Persian food, you should try it. Let's just say there's Plex doesn't know this yet, but there's a special street on Candyland. It's around the corner. There's a Persian restaurant there. You guys got to check it out.
Oh, is that where there's that hole? It's like taped off. I always wondered what that was, man. It's so
Not a hole in
weird.
the wall, that's for sure. It's not a hole in the wall.
It's like Looney Tunes where it looks like a street, but it's not really.
Yeah.
It is a street, huh? That's so weird.
That's the one. Yeah. Yeah. That's the one.
Awesome. And what about you, Flex?
You know what? I'm pretty simple, man. Chicken and rice is as cliche as it sounds. I'm a huge chicken guy, so like I can turn and I know this kills the gimmick right now. We're not chicken candy, but you know, the white meat, man, it's so clean, and I literally eat a ton of candy. That part of the gimmick is real, but the white meat I feel like it helps with just bulking, and it makes me content. Red meat's a little harder to get down all the time. So I mean, I do like fish and I do like sushi, but I would say chicken is the go-to, and then the chicken preparation can be different in multiple different ways. I'm a big paprika user, and I like teriyaki chicken. So I mean, I know it's not extravagant, and we don't need our own restaurant in Candyland for it, you know. But you can just go to the Flame Broiler down the street in California. But you know, like definitely chicken is my go-to grab. If we're trying to be fancy though, sushi. I've become a sushi lover since I've moved to California from the East Coast. East Coast not big on sushi, and the sushi not so good. But out in Cali, yeah, like sushi all around. But you got to find the good spots, and when you do, you go back.
Oh yeah.
So.
Awesome. And then with the next question, what would be you guys' favorite video game?
Oh, Super Smash Brothers, hands down. I live and breathe Super Smash Brothers. Like anything to do with Smash Bros, I have every single amiibo released from the Nintendo line of the amiibo little come to life figures. I have all the World of Nintendo figures that have been released from all the either Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing. I'm a huge collector of anything memorabilia wise of Nintendo. So if it's like a limited release, you know, like a coin or like some kind of emblem, a star, I get that kind of stuff. Malin stuff, point systems, but definitely Smash Bros, because it just puts everything everyone's hard work together in one game. It's like the ultimate art demonstration of all these different worlds coming together, and it makes sense. It's not jarbled up, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't work. Like when they added Steve from Minecraft last October, when you first saw it, you're like, what? Minecraft in Smash Bros. And then when I played the character, I'm like, man, it's so seamless. Like it works so good with along the lines of characters like Snake from Metal Gear Solid, Bayonetta from the Bayonetta series, you know, Link from Zelda, and it just fits in. So if I can have all four of us right now say a prayer for the next character to get in, if we can say a prayer for Crash Bandicoot, because I've been praying for him to get in for years, and we have two characters left for DLC. We need Crash to be the next one. I think June will be the next release during the virtual E3. The reveal of the next character, we need it to be Crash. So I don't care if you guys have other preferences or don't care about the game. Subconsciously right now, pray for Crash. Okay,
Crash.
Good.
Will do. Awesome. And then with you, Richie?
You know what? I like Super Smash Brothers, but I'm also I like Mortal Kombat. I like darker games, like psychological games of like horror. Huge fan of Silent Hill. I'm hoping they bring that one back. But yeah, Resident Evil. Of course, I played the most recent one. Just beat it the other day. Good game. But yeah, I'm more into the horror. I don't know, kind of like twisted in a way. But yeah, those are it pretty much.
Awesome. And then with the next question, do you guys have like any rituals you guys do before your match, and you guys do before you hit that curtain?
Oh boy. Well, of what we can talk about, yeah, I don't know. We definitely hit the bands. We hit the stretchy bands. Let's keep it pretty simple. We hit the stretchy bands with a shot of bicep and a shot of tricep, shoulders. You know, But yeah, I would say the stretchy bands.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Would you too, Richie?
Same thing. I do also on a I guess a not sure if it's the same note, but I mean, so I carry around basically I have this necklace that basically has my previous cat. Her name was Mama Llama. She was really special to me. I carry her ashes in like this little tiny vial. So before I go out, I'll always like say a prayer to myself and I kiss that little thing. I always feel like I have better matches whenever I have that with me. There was like 2 shows I did in like the last year that it happened. I don't know what happened to it. I opened up my bag and it wasn't there and I freaked out. And of course it was the worst match. Like I just didn't feel like my brain wasn't there. So I don't know, maybe psychological thing, but it made me feel a lot better after I found it. And I continued having matches. I feel like at least I didn't break my neck. So that was a plus.
That's awesome. And with the last fun question, if this could be tag team or even separate singles match, if you guys could have a match that isn't a wrestler, it could be a celebrity or athlete or anyone, who would it be?
Flex?
You know what, man? I gotta put some thought into that.
It could be video game characters, even TV show like.
Yeah. I kind of have an idea. You know who I'd want to go against? Because I've heard this over the last couple of years. I've been compared to John Stamos. I want to beat the crap out of John Stamos. It can only be one. Okay, when it comes to like good hair, and handsomeness, succulence, John Stamos side. There's Richie Slade here.
Well, if it's gonna be like that, then I'm gonna say Thor, because that's what I get. I get from day to day. I'll get my most common, look-alike double will be Thor in his short hair phase with beard. So
this is like Highland.
I don't think I'll last very long. But let's just try to ban the hammer and the axe from the match, and maybe like put a rubber top on top of the arena so he can't call for the electric power of the gods. And I might have a chance of like sneaking up and trying to get a quick 1, 2, 3 roll up or something. I don't know.
You know what, Flex? I think if we're smart enough, in a sense of my opponent, where John Stamos, what we can do is we can attack him before the match even starts. Shave his head. He's out of the game before it even starts. That's like the best. Wait,
can we get a celebrity death match for this one? If we can bring back celebrity death match, Beef Candy versus John Stamos and Chris Hemsworth as Thor, then I think we're down.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then like you said, Richie said, John Stamos, how would you see that match going, and how would you finish him off? What move would you pick?
Stamos isn't a fighter, so I mean, he might be a good-looking guy, but there can only be one. This is like Highlander, man. You can't have 2 of us around. So I'm definitely bringing the Clippers, and he's getting his head shaved.
Ooh. Dang, those are fighting words, Richie. And what about you, Flex? How would you see you beating Thor?
Oh, definitely a low blow and a schoolboy. Yeah. Schoolboy, hold the tights. Hopefully turn the arena's lights out, maybe.
Yeah. There wouldn't be no other way. That's it.
No. And I'm gonna have to bring Richie into this with the candy cap rules. Because I need a distraction of some sort, even to try to get the roll up. So,
the bottom line is,
going to be a candy cap match.
Bottom line is, look, there's this candy cap 2 against 1. It's not because we're weak. It's because they want the 2 of us. It's like when you ask for Beef Candy, what do you get? You get Richie Slade and Flex McCallion. There's no other way around it. You want the succulent and you want the hunk, and that's what you get. You get the 2 of us. There's no one or the other. It's the 2. We come in a complete package.
And you've seen the chaos that the left and right Twix have caused to the nation. We don't want to do that to the people. So with that, we want to give them 50%, 50%, 100% Beef Candy. Yeah. That's how we look at it.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. That's awesome.